Hello, this is AnlineOffline. Today we'll summarize the Season 2 patch notes for COD Mobile 2025. First, Cold War's XM4 has gotten a major buff to its recoil, and it's much easier to handle even with the Task Force barrel. Less visual, less horizontal, even though it doesn't have any, and the agency suppressor now reduces recoil like it usually does for other guns. The iron sights on the Mythic blueprint were changed, because they were difficult to use when aiming at light-colored objects, like concrete. Some people are glad, some are mad. The bicep multiplier on Advanced Warfare's HBRA3 now matches the rest of its upper body, and this could make it a pretty good mid to long range gun in terms of potential time to kill. It also helps that its signature Thunderbolt sling will be more useful in reducing its awkward horizontal recoil. So you could use it as a lighter alternative to the Holger. For 2019's M13, the forearms will now match its previously buffed biceps, and this should help with its 4-shot potential in close range. The chest will be 10% extra damage now, but that's less important. For the M16, the stomach is now 10% extra damage, so it's better at finishing an already damaged enemy. Wildfire does not lower it like it does for the chest and arms. If you can manage its full auto recoil, it might help with its long-range 4-shot potential. It's also getting a flinch buff, but it was already solid. The ADS bloom on the Bison has been buffed once again, from matching the average LMG to matching the average AR. The ADS bloom on the CBR4 has once again been buffed, this time from the average SMG to the average LMG. The CBR is looking promising recently, as it's faster and more accurate than it ever was. The only thing holding it back at this point is its flinch. 2019's ISO is getting a buff to its arm multipliers, and this should help improve its 4-shot potential in its second range. The PPSH is getting a buff to its hipfire, and will now match the MSMC as one of the tightest in the SMG class. It also already has plenty of attachments to enhance it. 2019's CX9 is getting a couple of buffs, but they don't make much of a difference. The flinch will be slightly reduced, but anything above a 1.0 is still a risk. When using the 38E barrel, both bullet speed and range will be increased from 25 to 30%. However, 5% extra to both only gets you half an extra meter of hit scan range and 1 more meter in its range values. One of the stocks for the MG42 will have worse hipfire. This doesn't matter because it has other attachments for that, and you can build the MG42 to min-max any specific thing, whether it be maxing fire rate, maxing penetration, 0 bloom, 0 flinch, or being able to hipfire people halfway across the map with a different stock. And that hipfire nerf only applied to BR. So 2019's RAL MG will now deal 50% extra damage to the head. This means it can 2-tap to the head, but I wouldn't worry because it's still very slow compared to other 2-shot headshot weapons. The chopper is getting a buff to its chest multiplier. At mid-range, 1 shot there can give you a 4-shot potential. Elsewhere, you need multiple, and the arms will be in the way unless you shoot them in the back. The choke muzzle for the Argus is mostly getting buffed. The accuracy is improved, the movement isn't as slow anymore. The new drawbacks to ADS time and strafe speed aren't an issue. This could be useful if you want to build a pseudo sniper that can one-shot to the legs that's still fast, but I prefer having a suppressor. The Kilo Bolt or Car 98K will have a faster ADS. With this, its fastest speed is on par with AR's. The new stopping power speed takes after its old fastest speed, and this is relative to the fastest XPR with stopping power. The new thermite speed takes after its old stopping power speed, and this is comparable to the fastest Outlaw. 2019's SPR is also getting a faster ADS. When maxed out, this new speed should be on par with the new Kilo Bolt in stopping power. Even then, I might still prefer that over the SPR, because the Kilo in stopping power can one-shot to the stomach at any range. And lastly, the XBR50 is getting a new firing sound. Our XBR is a bit strange. When ADS, it sounds like Black Ops 3. When hip firing, it sort of sounds like Black Ops 2. If they really wanted to add some spice to it, They could have added its Black Ops 3 fast mag reload for when you use sleight of hand. Moving on to non-firearms. For operator skills, both the control field and the Sparrow will have lower costs for activation. I don't know what kind of favoritism that the devs have towards the Death Machine. I just know that it has even more damage resistance and can two-shot anywhere in the body now. Speaking of favoritism, once again, the gravity spikes will recharge even faster and will slightly cover more area. The only change to the streaks this month is the SAM turret, and it's now 1 kill cheaper to earn. For the throwable tacticals, the Dowser Grenade will have slightly more range. And lastly, we have the Tier 1 Red Perks. Restock will recover your lethals and tacticals faster from 3 per minute to 4. Overclock will recharge operator skills faster. So, what are my thoughts on these balance changes? Still nothing against the USS-9. Aside from that, I'd say that these are fine changes for the guns, except for the MG42 and CX-9. Those are essentially nothing. For the season, I think I'll try to use the HBR, M13, CBR, and Kilo Bolt more often for further observations. The new gun this season is the VLK Rogue from Modern Warfare 2019, a mag-fed bolt-action shotgun that's usually an underbarrel in real life, but can also be used as a standalone. I say bolt-action, but if you have bolt-action pre-input enabled, it plays like a spam shotgun that's even slower than the Echo. Unlike the Echo, its slug rounds have the same lethality as its pump and lever action peers. It also has Dragon's Breath rounds like the Jak-12. The new tactical equipment is the Flash Strike, and it's like the drill charge from the recent COD games, but as a flashbang. It's going to be a learning experience to see where you can and cannot drill. Unfortunately, it doesn't go off when you hit players or hit the ground, like it does in the main games. So no forbidden Taco Bell execution. There are no new maps this season, only changes to old ones. Vehicles are expected to be added to Cry and Battle Royale, but I'm not sure why, because the map is small enough to play like Resurgence, and it's easy enough to travel on foot due to its less extreme topography. For multiplayer, Rage from Black Ops 2 is getting remastered to match its Cold War counterpart, just like what happened to Standoff, but these changes are less apparent. For my fellow Respawn players, Domination is back in ranked, and Control gets to stay. I fail to see why it was removed in the first place. To celebrate Ramadan and Holy, there will be events that have more secret caches to ground you for. Remember, there's no rush to get these done. You have until mid-June for the Stun Baton and AMAX, and until next January for the AK-117. So, that's all the important stuff for Season 2 2025. This new shotgun wasn't remarkable in Modern Warfare, so time will tell if it's any good here. It was expected that the KRM would get a signature attachment, but I guess that's been pushed back. The drill charge has been something that I've been wanting since Modern Warfare 2022, and I suppose this is close enough. Who knows? After 2 years, maybe Activision is finally warming up to the idea of giving us content that's newer than Vanguard. But hey, that's just my opinion. It seems that you guys want to see the M4 LMG next. My name is An, and I'm off.